the judge, and then you say if they're guilty or not guilty.
Child.
Bill Reed is among several dozen.
Called me, and one of my brothers said, "Oh, you got to go down to Brothertown, Calamatville."
Mile said, "Look out for rocks." Did not expect that a falling 100.
If the timing and everything was going to work out, but it worked out perfect.
A worker was going around the gate area tagging carry-on bags and noticed.
Looking at the poster banner and saw that Ray Edwards was going to be there, it sparked some interest.
Well, I've just seen a lot of people that seem to be really distracted while they're driving, and I think it's a real safety.
Tiger stripes that Mrs. Tiger was appropriate.
Your bank, especially if you ever suspect anything, and you should talk with your bank about the security policies that they have and what they should.
Sandwich, and then they didn't even hit the worker. Why would I be being?
And I close all current, everything.
The name again.
Sweaty balls.
Yes. No class.
And I just have a lot of faith, not just in this innovation and technology,
but to tell you. And I said, well, is there a district manager I can get in contact with? And she turns on, she says,
Boston is based on maritime tradition. You know, anyone can know our history.
I stopped by, filled up with gas, and, you know, was in the
Grand, and it's got two of.
It went from just normal boring to now you're in my living room.
She's famous.
Oh, over at the corner of the bar, I looked over and there's this cat.
Life for that's a really good feeling, and you can't really put it into words.
So we just start walking in the woods.
And I was right here, cutting the guy's hair, and he had just like how you
Kicked, and somehow the right angle, they popped the lock off.
There's cause to investigate. I hope they just do a good, honest job and treat everyone.
And it seemed like was it the reefs that they had put out only the night before are gone. And
there are assets we have that aren't adding to things.
Kicker, and I printed it up without a kicker, and since it was my shift and I made a mistake.
Up in here in sun, and you know, maintain a body temperature.
Computer screen like every day, and it's actually frustrating because you don't get any replies from any employers. So
I came home to pick up something, and there was a note.
I was told that I could eat one meat prepared a certain way for the rest of my life.
Water helped, but it was completely different than from all the other challenges that I've been.
Somebody yelled, "Oh no," and I looked up and I saw this lady with a nail puller type.
We have done a number of, duathlons and triathlons in the past, and I've been juggling for a while, so I was like, well, it just kind of makes sense.
I found it in the muscle of the clam, because that's a pearl.
She was screaming at me to shut up in a whole other language.
Veteran Boston. The couch boat is a really great example of some of the things that he's been exploring in his work.
And to say that we're not good enough to go unless we have a guy standing next to us. It's just kind of sickening.
About abductions and our kids running off, and you just never think it's going to happen to you.
Come to me with an option rather than just an ultimatum. We may have been a little bit more
effort out of our business, worrying about another business.
It was 10 feet. I thought it was definitely over 6 feet, definitely bigger than me. Didn't really.
emails. It just kept blowing up, going.
Plastic snake in the tree because I don't like them.
And when we got over there, I knew that we had to get that dolphin off that.
Started to run down the beach like it was nobody's business, and then we just saw this.
We produce the energy on site here and use the energy on site.
I pulled it to the side, and when we were really slow, I turned.
Putting them in my hand and eating them out of my hand, and I had eaten most.
Welcome to the Blessed House, by the way.
Is that what you're calling it now?
I guess so.
The Blessed House.
The Blessed House.
I counting down the days, but it's definitely been hard.
I some Halloween stuff and some clothes.
Reporting in Oklahoma City.
It's about, it goes off about 8 to 9 times a minute.
It's just to help de-stress the family and guide them through the medical
dog, and I only have $100. He's like, well, it's my friend's dog, and
their behaviors and their habits, and it was just unusual that you have a deer protecting a goose.
Out of here to think that this is a political statement. Actually, political statements.
That I owe $160,000 on almost a $350,000 home, and somebody decides they're.
Snow keeps coming, we'll be in business.
Have some kind of robot or something, but there's just some things that people have to do.
We're just noticing them all over the outside of our house.
One of the stones at the front, but
I had no idea it was sick.
About what I do and trying to get kids to think about how people did things.
Want to thank you so much.
Picking this guy up, he's going in my trunk in my van and with his dog and meet me.
Something magical and mystical that you really have to experience.
You know, he asked me for I had 20 cop cars there with handcuffs.
River right here, so I'm like, this gator's gotta go.
Most people have left, except those that are coming down just to take a look at the water. But these
necessary equipment all ready to go ahead and give us regular.
And he's just jolly as he can be, and I laugh along with him.
And it looked really helpless, so we stopped the boat. People came up to us in tears, just really moved by what Megan had done.
And it was one of the most amazing experiences I've ever had.
And found kitty hair all over.
Concerned about that particular date of December 21st, and yes, they are.
Rose bushes, my fences, everything. My car.
I just like, wow, it's crazy.
I heard something unusual.
About 60 miles an hour. He never moved, and so I said, oh my God, I hit a bird, and I felt so bad, but it was very dark.
It has, you know, a long trunk, which is the umbilical cord, and then it has these.
Looking for arrowheads and whatnot, and then I find one down here by the water.
And some you have skunks, and here we're just dealing with sous chefs and all the.
All just drop right over the neighbor's house, and I thought it was
family, so they can have some spa pizza.
Called to the guy, he picked up the phone and asked him about the boat. He say, okay, the boat is for sale.
I dropped the ticket. My mom picked it up. She started reading it, and she had to read it a few times to like figure out like that we actually.
And that's when I was telling my friend, get the Jag, but that's gonna take too long. Let me try to leave the truck.
Out of here, because he couldn't yell. He was on, you know, hit him right.
Slowed down significantly in the last at least year since the HEB construction.
I was gonna drink the beer. It just stunk bad. The snake was dead.
And jumping and just trying to get my attention. And Jennifer.
It is what it is. I mean, it's
somewhere and get some mistletoe to decorate the house, and from some of my friends that can't get mistletoe.
Is it going to spray it? Is it going to continue to open up?
They think it's really cool that my horse can play basketball.
I mentioned something this morning about, you know, oh look, we should call that number and we should donate, you know, and so.
Wish I would have done it with the other two. I wish I would have known about it.
We didn't have a camera. We didn't have anything.
Because I've never seen a monkey like in the hood.
I've never seen this before in our pond.
What did you see in the pond?
It was eerie. It's eerie in a way.
What should I do here? Should I do it? Should I not?
It's to be found, and they should read the sign, and they should recognize that what they did was wrong.
About it, you know, considering that a lot of the other towns have been canceled, but it's good that, you know.
I had to turn around and come back and try my very best.
The driver's actually a lot more conscious than other people. They know how to drive.
The war. You know, and I'm not gonna back down. I'm not gonna say.
So here we are. We found our lights. Walmart early.
Engineers, and they built the first bridge at Normandy Beach.
And she said, my name's Michelle.
But when you have teachers that are just so wonderful and
So we're talking about listeners what happened.
Well, I do the news in the morning, so I'm gonna say hello. I was part of the news.
It's a difficult ages is like 2 to 3 year old.
It had miscarried, and that was its
toes, and the umbrella flew, and I just kind of freaked out.
Food. If there's no water running, I've got water.
Times our signs were down, and we went out to put them back up, and there were all kinds of little tears.
That's not what they're made for.
Pink ribbon, so I automatically knew that they were love letters.
Ball, ride bikes, play basketball, baseball.
No, we seemed pretty safe. It was blue sky above us.
Read the papers. There's so much happening right around you, and you never know.
65.
I think I just took a really big bite and forgot to chew.
It was a good-sized piece of steak and cheese.
And I couldn't even finish my next sentence before it had already grabbed my ankle, and I kind of felt a little bit of a thrashing.
First got there, it did not even cross my mind that we can even be potentially in danger.
Said video games here. That's what I used it for.
And I saw people scattering, and my initial response was to make sure
attention in class and do my homework, and I just
very proud. My children have taken the opportunity.
Some of them were hurt. Some of them left here on stretchers.
My senior year, I don't see why they would.
My mom and my grandpa
My grandpa would be so proud of Texas.
I try to place these horses in loving homes of people that want a horse.
It was really nice meeting me there at my house, and it was very special.
Speed limit on the whole Western Hemisphere, right? I mean, it's really pretty neat.
First times he tried to land, and
we floated over, yeah.
Yeah, we kept missing landing spots.
If they could sell tacos, and we said that's fine. And after that, we didn't know they were.
A really humbling honor with so many other dedicated professionals.
While he was running around, he saw his reflection in the window and thought it was another buck and tried to attack it and crashed through the window. And
to show Danny that we love him.
It sounds like it's not rational, but it's possible.
Definitely a kid, but she also has a business side to her.
It's so easy to drive, and it's just, I love it. It's like my baby.
Give me a hand. How's that, Steve? Sure.
From London emailed me this morning.
And I was like, what does the receipt say? Fat girls.
At first.
This is 33 years later.
Wait for their candy. This is their #1 day of the year.
It's our drive to sit in the vehicle. Yeah, we need those driving down. Once we get here, that's it.
This up and just, it's gone. There's no way I'll ever get that money back. Maybe I put it in my wallet. Maybe if
the people of Washington Heights and those great Samaritans who got that perpetrator.
One of my favorite players.
These windsurfers only do about 25 miles an hour.
Yeah, on the bar over there in my bedroom. And
the grass, I thought sold. This pet.
But he got in and he started rustling through some stuff there, over here, and then he went upstairs.
Right. It really is to me. It's just like a little pet.
I'm paying for it, so I was like, are you sure, or is this like all a joke? And she was like,
money over and over, and guess what's happening to my credit card?
As an animal, and hey, you can leave it at home. She's a 7-week-old baby.
You get candy. You get a letter. Like that kid is probably not.
It's like you were 23 competing with us.
I can do with it now.
First I thought it was like 10 students, then it got to be 40. By 10 o'clock I realized that it was